Oh, I think it's working. Setting up your meeting for YouTube Live. Hey, how exciting. Brian, take two. We got this.
All right.
So I don't think I need this. There's a first for everything. And I laugh, you know, Brian, I named it Brian, Ernst, and Bettina Sastoque Take Two. And I'm hoping that today will be so much better than yesterday when it didn't stream through. So I love, what is the quote that you said when we discovered that we didn't actually?
Anything worth doing well is worth doing poorly till you can get it down pat. It's a Zig Ziglar quote.
We are nailing poorly. And I just want you to know, I know I said this before, but I really want you to know how much I respect and appreciate your go with the flow. I don't know what kind of training or what kind of junk you must have gone through in your past life to have the patience that you have right now that I have seen from you.
I'm glad you think so. I'm happy you think so.
What is it they said? Patience. When somebody says you're so patient, it doesn't feel very patient.
I don't consider myself particularly patient. This is just part of the process. This is just the journey. That's all it is. It's like getting stuck in traffic. Do you want to get mad at traffic for being there? I mean, it's there. Do you want to leave an hour early or even an hour earlier to get there? Would that really have helped you? In some situations, maybe it would. But in others, like, it's just a part of the drive. It's just another stoplight, you know?
Yeah. Blare some music, listen to a good podcast, get some developmental something, grow, become, reset, release your tension, set your intentions. So much good can come out of traffic if we just find it, right?
Change things you can. And the others, find ways of enjoying the journey, enjoying the ride. Like I just got back just a second ago and I realized I left my phone in my car. Now my car is not parked near me at all right now. Okay. It's a ways away. Okay. It's a hike. And it's like, it's part of the journey. I'm going to forget things like that. I'm not worried about, it's fine where it is, but I'm going to solve that problem too. I figured, how can I solve that so it never happens again? Because that's how I think about that. Just like handling buyers and sellers and those types of things. When a problem comes up, how could I alleviate that problem from the beginning? How can I solve that and make sure it doesn't ever come up again, or we set the right expectations where I don't need that to come up again? And I realized I'm just going to take my phone, and I have several phones. I have two phones, right, more than that, but two that are connected. I'm going to take it and I plug it in because the charger in the car, I don't know, I just plug in, works better with everything else. I'm gonna take the phone and I'm going to put it in my bag. So worst case scenario, I'm pulling it out and it pops right out and I still have it with me. It's like,
yes,
that's what I'm gonna do from now on. I'm just gonna have it stick in my bag one way or another when I'm in my car, because I always have a bag with me or something. So it's there. It's not rattling around. Just a new solution, because I could be like, oh, I forgot my phone. This is nuts. Oh, I need this. I really don't need it at the moment. And now I have a new solution for it that I thought, that's where I usually put my car in the front little, part of the car. And no, I'm just gonna put it right here in the bag and solve the problem. Next. Just
systems and processes. That's what we were talking about. When was it? Yesterday or the other conversation ago? It was all about systems and processes, right?
Yeah.
And putting systems and processes in place to really simplify your life. And the other thing we were visiting about was leverage.
Yes. Yeah.
Leveraging.
Yeah. We were talking about going from 20 to 40 agents and, or 20 to 40 transactions, and then talking about 40 to 80 transactions. And to me, some of the things that I do, to me, are really just putting habits in place. Call it habits, systems, leverage, all that fun stuff. To me is just, what habit are you in? What's the habit you're that you want to be in. What do you want to accomplish with your habits? Like today, I just want to accomplish not forgetting my phone in the car. Well, guess what? I found a solution to it. It's just a simple solution,
Yay.
nothing complicated. And then I just have to get in the habit of doing that. I don't necessarily need a checklist for that, but some things you do. And I do that.
So that was funny because one of the things, my lesson this morning, right, is like the most important thing that we need to do every day is journal. Having that self-awareness journal, and then setting a goal, making a plan with a time frame to hit it. And then the third one was scoring our daily habits. And I was like, oh, I know that. I forgot that. So journaling came up because our huddle every morning, we realized that all of us that have fallen off that wagon on journaling.
Yeah.
And we talked about that yesterday. Two of us did journal. Kim journaled yesterday and this morning. You met Kim. And then I journaled this morning. A world of difference, right? But developing my daily habits. And that was something, and being so hyper aware. Was that book, the book about habits?
Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Yes. What is it that, tell me, okay, how do you create habits? How do you create habits, Brian? And how do you help agents create the habits for success to get from those 20 transactions to those 40 transactions?
Well, first I make sure they're literate, and then I ask them to read the book.
Read the book.
And if they're not literate, I ask them to get it on Audible and listen to it. They're all literate. It's just a matter of they're book readers, or if they're not in the habit of reading. A lot of people are just not in the habit of reading books, but you can get a habit of listening to a book easier. Just whenever you're out and about, you just, put your earbuds in, go for a walk, you're in the car, make sure it's always playing. There's just little habits to get into. That's actually a habit I got into, 15 years ago, was listening to audio, just dialogues in my car as I was just driving. I did that for a year and a half straight, nothing else, no news, no sports, no music, just that. Whenever I got in the car, that's what was playing. And I was in the car quite a bit at the time. So that's all I would listen to, was just scripts, dialogues for real estate agents, how to handle transactions, what to say, when to say it. That was just something I listened to. So
right?
How do I get into habits? Well, first of all, I usually get into a problem. That's how the start of a habit start. I'm identifying, I don't like this, whatever this is, or I don't want this to occur, or this needs to change, and that's when the habits need to be put in place. But it's the awareness part of it too. It's for me, and I'm just very sensitive to pain. And when things are not the way I think they should be, I think everybody has their ways they think things should be, just on your desk, in life, in the world, but just like right now, that on my phone, that's throwing me off. Why? I don't need it, but it's throwing me off. And it's enough to cause me a little minor irritation to say, I get in the car next time, I'm going to plug it in, I'm going to stick it in my bag. So it's charging, it's there, it's connected to my car. I can get the audio, the calls, everything like that. All right. But I just have to place it. And I might stick something in the front part of my compartment of my car, so I don't put my phone in there anymore too. So you have to get rid of the old habit. Okay. You have to block that habit and identify what the awareness of what the old habit is, so that you go, oh, I can't put it there now. Oh, that's right, I'm supposed to put it here. That's just one little step, teeny little step that you can take. But that's getting rid of your old habits, just like in real estate sales. What are you doing right now that's not leading you to its success that you want? And if you did do this, this would. Now, maybe there's a lot of steps in it, but you break it down to the smallest possible step. Let's talk about journaling real quick. I'm gonna just sidebar this real quick.
Yeah.
Would you like some advice on how to journal every day consistently?
Yes, I do.
So I don't know if I know the answer or not, but just stick with me.
You're like, I got the answer. Well, I love this. I love your teasers. You're always like, yes.
Here's part of it. Here's part of it. Make it simple, and it's a minute. Call it a minute a day journaling. 1 minute a day journaling. Title it that way. Okay, 1 minute a day. Now, there's not a requirement that you have to do it for just 1 minute. You can go over a minute, but do it for a minute, and you usually start going, and you may go for a few minutes, you may go for 20 minutes, but just a minute.
Yeah.
And then just, it's a brain dump. Just everything you have on your brain, put it on paper in any way, shape, or form, and it frees your mind. But it's just 1 minute. That's it. Like you could do that. You could literally do that on your huddles. Okay. All right. Everybody have their stuff out. No, you have to have your stuff out. You'll be ready right away. That's the habit too. Be ready. All right. A minute. I'm timing it. Just go. What can you get down on paper in a minute that's on your mind? And then now let's have a huddle, and let's be a little more clear on what we're doing. Sometimes that's just that simple. Just make it so easy, so simple. And obviously in that situation, you wouldn't have time to go longer, but if you did it on your own, yeah, go journal more, write stuff down. But also make it so easy. If you're going to write it, put the journal right on your desk where you're going to sit each day, or right on your bed, put it right next to your, where on the side of your bed, literally right there, not on the nightstand, on your bed. So you can't get into bed. You can't get to the next step into bed without journaling.
Right.
So you block things.
That's habit stacking.
That's habit stacking. Yep. That's exactly what it is. And that's what I did in Vegas. When I was walking around in Vegas for so many years, I would do habit stacking in ways. I'm doing one thing. I'm going to walk from here to here, but I could walk this way, pick up this, come over here, do this. And it's all, to me, it was all the same. It's just a one big walk. And I could get a lot of different things done in the process. I'm in the process of doing this. It's habit stacking. You do one thing in that same period of time. I could do 5 same things in the same period of time. Habit stacking. Yeah. If anybody hasn't read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, I would recommend it. And if you've already read it,
the beginning. I feel like it's the beginning of everything.
I would read it again. And because some of the best books out there, I would recommend reading 10 times. Now, it sounds excessive, but sometimes you listen to it 8 times. It's like, yeah, I know. Wait, I didn't hear this part. Huh.
Because you're a different place in your journey. So because you're in a different place in your journey, the view is different.
That's right. And I've done so many personal growth trainings. I've taught it. And there's one thing that I've been to quite a bit. And people say, why do you come back to the same event every year? It's really the same questions that come up. And I'm like, yeah, but my answers have changed. The same questions. Yeah. Somebody asked me a question last week, and I'm like, nobody's asked me that question in a while. But it's the same question is, okay, if you're struggling with this, X, Y, and Z, whatever it is, let's just say one of your coaching clients was struggling with that. Brian, what would you tell them? It's just switching it back. A lot of people know the answers to things. It's just they're not in the right perspective for it. And speaking of that, I have something that's very interesting that you might be entertained by, if I can pull this up correctly, but it's an assessment.
So that's funny, because the verbiage to our question is, if you were a high performance coach,
yes,
right? What would what advice would you give yourself right now?
Yeah, that's it. What advice? And that was the question that came up. All right.
Yeah.
That was the question that came up, that I was like, all right. Yeah. All right. Oh, okay. All right.
And then you're like, I don't like my high performance coach. They're right, but man.
So there's an assessment, viacharacter.org, and it gives you it's your own specific strengths. Now it's an assessment, and it's like, I think it's 26 different strengths. They're different core values that people generally have across the world that they've identified. And my number one perspective when I keep taking this is perspective, seeing things from different angles. And that's the thing, when you can get out of your own head and see it from a different angle. Oh, okay. All right. That's a different perspective. I didn't see it that way. I'm just learning different things in different ways. So it's a simple assessment. I don't know if you want to share it.
Personality test, personality assessment, VIA survey. viacharacter.org.
Yeah. And there's a great book, and it's not related to this, but it's the same guy who wrote this. It's called Flourish is the name of the book. Okay. And it's a more recent one. It's by Martin Seligman, Seligman. Flourish is the name of the book. He's written some other happiness books.
Okay.
He's a psychologist. I don't know. I always forget the difference, but he's very, very well educated. It's a very academic type of book, but it just shows some of the research behind happiness. It's a visionary new understanding of happiness and well-being. So it's the well-being part too that I like. I like these types of things. And just the assessment is fun. Take it with your family, take it with your friends, just to see. And just because you have some of the lower characteristics on yourself, it's not that they're bad. It's just you may not just value them the most. It's just my biggest priority on certain things.
Right.
And it's not a right or wrong. But anyways, the book associated with it's just kind of, I'd recommend you read the book Atomic Habits, for real estate agents. But this is just more of how are you living your life, and what words how are you speaking to people, like realizing what negativity does to you in different contexts of it, and what happiness does on certain things too. So that's why I enjoy hanging out with you, Bettina, because even if you mess things up incredibly, you're having fun with it. Seem like, you're laughing and smiling. It's like, all right, this is entertaining. All right, I'll just kind of watch the show because it's fun.
The Bettina show. Oh my God.
It's all perspective. It's all perspective, how you look at it. And I think that's life. What perspective are you?
And I do sometimes feel like you're watching the Bettina show, like unfold before your eyes.
Okay, this is happening. Oh, really? Oh, are we recording this too? Oh, okay, good. Is anybody gonna watch this? Oh, if you're watching this, thank you. Thank you for watching. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I wrote it down. So we were talking about journaling. So one of the things that I'm really good is I take notes. So every day I'm working on personal growth. So I love that that's a big thing for you, because that's really where I'm at right now. Right. So I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to share that with you, and it might be backwards. I don't know. But you'll see, like in the triangle, that triangle at the base of the triangle. So outside of the triangle, the four sides of the triangles are things that everybody, no matter where they're at in their life, wants. Okay. We all want aliveness. We all want to have a feeling of aliveness. Like you do it. You're amazing at that, right? And pursuing that. The other one is deep connections with other people. The other one is, the third side is meaningful pursuit. That is like, so it was funny because the pursuit of happiness, it's actually meaningful pursuit that brings you the happiness.
Yes. Yeah. It's a journey. It's a journey to get you. Yeah.
It's the journey.
It's all about the journey.
Right? And that's how it's refreshed. And all of this, all these triangles gives you growth. And this is what everybody, no matter if you're a billionaire or brand new, this is like what everybody wants, right? And then it has, you'll see like the rectangle, and then, oh wait, can you see? Oh wait, let me scroll down. So you'll see so that's a triangle, that's what everybody wants. And then you've got the square around it. In my case, it's a rectangle. Yeah. And then you'll see at the top is the things that keep us from doing those, right? One is not being ambitious enough. Okay. Right? Like having that desire. And a lot of times we are naturally ambitious, but something in our lives said, why are you being why would you want that? Somebody put some kind of weight of a baggage on you, and you decided to carry it around versus taking it out and putting it in front of you and using it as a stepping stone up, right? And I'm like, ambition. Okay. The other one at the bottom is that keeps you from getting there is agency. Truly believing that you are the captain of your ship. You design your destiny, right? You're the designer, you're the creator, you are the one that is going to take action. You're it. You're right. Yeah. So that's the second one. The third one is the environment. Is our environment that can often keep us from reaching that goal. And the fourth one is education. So that's the how, that's the growth, and things like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, we all want deep connection. We all want aliveness. We all want to pursue, have some sort of meaningful pursuit, right? So at the end of the day, we're not like, what happened today? I don't even know. It was a blur, or the week or the month or whatever. I don't even know what happened. But to take moments and pauses and to release our tension, to set the intentions, and we just take moments throughout the day to recognize what has happened and what we want to happen next, and to be prepared and ready for it. So like before this call, I was doing that offer, right? We were finishing up that offer to send to the buyer's agent, and I was working through that with our assistant really fast and just making sure it was fine-tuned. And I took that moment, I don't know if you noticed, where I was like, I had to close my eyes, breathe, release that energy, and then allow myself to be as excited about this conversation with you, because they're always fun, right? They're always so much fun. So I was like, I didn't want to carry that energy into this conversation, but I also wanted to be very clear in my head what I wanted from this conversation, which is your energy and our crazy and laughing at all the crazy things that we get ourselves into. So I love it.
You were speaking about just breathing, and I actually read a book about breathing recently. Sounds weird for me, to actually read a book about breathing, but it's called Breath.
It's important.
Breath by James Nestor. Some of the stuff goes a little extreme, but it's interesting on how we breathe and how it makes us feel. If we're not getting enough air, there's parts of the book that we're not getting enough carbon dioxide. Wait a minute, we don't want carbon dioxide. Well, it's a part of the air. It's just are you getting what you actually need? So I read that book and just interesting. Yeah, sometimes you just take a breath and just slow it down, really, so you can think. But that's the habit. You may not even understand what the habit is. The habit is breathing. So it does affect your brain, your body chemistry, and it can do very quickly too. Like there's certain breath techniques you can do within like literally 3-4 breaths, and you can change your whole feeling in your body.
Everything.
Okay? And it's just understanding the technique of it. It's not 3, we're done. No, it's a long inhales. You hold it, you exhale. And
you're
exhale.
not burning.
But it's something very that simple. And some of the more advanced doctors, one of the doctors in the book was like, yeah, I'd recommend you try it twice. Do 2 breaths. Don't do 8. Do 2, because you might pass out, or you're not ready for it yet. But it's so funny. It's like 2 breaths. I can handle that. And I read a book about breathing twice. And there's more to it than that. But yeah, that's the habit. You don't even recognize you had a habit in there. And then you're setting your intentions and you're moving forward. But there's actually multiple habits that you just said in all that. And you could also call it a system. You could call it a process.
Whatever you want. Yeah. Systems, processes. And so this, speaking of breathing, to add on that. So I heard something, got this information somehow. Don't even remember who to credit for this. But he said, okay, every emotion that you have, before you feel that emotion, it actually starts with the breath. So you actually have a breath, then it triggers the emotion. So if you learn how to control your breath, right, you control that emotion. So one of the first things I taught my daughter, at a dance convention, of all the things that we spent competitive dance all these years, the most valuable lesson from all of those lots of money spent was in one of them, I had to pay extra because parents, for those of you who are, you don't know about the whole dance mom thing, but you pay a ton load for classes, you pay a ton load for everything, you pay a ton load to get your kid into the convention, and then in the convention the parents have to pay a ton load so that they can be there and watch your kids, which is your kid, which is why it's okay. But one of them, they said, because sometimes these kids, they experience anxiety, right?
Sure.
And she said, you put your finger here at the base of your wrist, and then you move your finger up slowly, right? As you move it up slowly, you breathe in, go around, breathe out.
Oh, that's great.
Breathe in,
Oh, that's great.
Breathe out.
Oh, that's a great
So
technique.
in that process, you've got a physical action,
You got
right?
a visual, a
And you have a
physical.
visual,
Yeah.
and you just in and out, in and
And
out,
it's
in
a
and out.
model. It's the model. It's the outline. That's what it is.
Mhm.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. That's
I thought
great.
it was brilliant. I share that with so many people. And then, like, one of our things is to release tension and set intention, right? From I'm a big Brendan Burchard. I'm part of his ultra group. Phenomenal. I'm so excited. We're meeting once a month on the first of every month in LA to get together. And then we get together, he does like his big conference, and then we get together and he does coaching with us, and then we go out to dinner. Like, how cool is that? I'm so excited. But one of his thing is, it's a 3, and we talk about this a lot, is release tension, set intention. So step 1, close your eyes and breathe. Once you close your eyes, take a deep breath. You say the mantra over and over again, release. And as you say release, you release all the tension from your body. You just start releasing. And at the beginning, it takes a minute, but once you get in that habit, you find yourself releasing that tension really quick. It just dissipates. And then before you open your eyes again, you set the intention of how you want the next experience to be, how you're going to feel, and how you're going to show up in that next experience. You rehearse that, and then you open your eyes, and then you put it into practice.
Great.
Life-changing.
So
Now,
simple.
so simple. It's so simple. You
Yeah,
know
people
what's so
don't do
hard
it.
about it?
Doing it consistently.
Yes, taking the pause in our moments to
Yeah.
make sure we're doing it consistently. But I know when I do it, like, I'm more present. I feel more alive, right? I can pursue like that meaningful pursuit, that aliveness, that I get a better connection when I choose to do it. Why? And I wish, and I'm getting better, but it's so important for me to have that group of people who are on that same page doing the same thing, reminding me and each other that, hey,
You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, is the Jim Rohn quote.
that's the Jim Rohn quote. Is that why we're hanging out?
Sure. Why not? Why
It's
not?
helping me like level up. I wish, you know what? Yesterday we had such a great conversation about getting agents from 20 agents to 40. 20 transactions to 40 transactions. I wish we recorded it because it was such a great conversation, because you have so much value in that. Like the tracking, the systems, the process, the mindset, all of that.
We'll just have to
But
do another one of those where we I don't know, do a webinar or a conference. Just people can join us if they want, you know.
yeah, absolutely. Well, I know that you have an appointment that you have to get to.
I do.
And I just now looked at the time. I cannot believe, like, it just seemed like 5 minutes went by.
Well, you were breathing, which is helpful. You weren't holding your breath the whole time.
I love you.
Love you too.
Let's do this again. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. By the way, you look great as always.
Thanks. I appreciate that. And
You're amazing.
you look good too, Bettina. I know you need that. So you look good too. I want to let you know that.
Thank you. All right. Love you. Mwah.
Bye.
I'll see you. Okay. Oh, we have to go.
Oh, I'm gonna get donuts.
Oh, you want to get donuts.
Well, I didn't eat yet.
Leave meeting. Hold on. France.
I'll wait for you.
Naka-live stream pa niya.
Hi, is Dreams around?
Friends of Mumu